Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee. This is the home of country music. Today we'll be paying a visit to Woodlawn Memorial Park here in Nashville, where several notable names in the music field have been laid to rest. So let's go take a look. I'll start by saying that there are a lot of famous musicians laid to rest here, but we're only going to be able to cover a few of them today. I will come back and do a more comprehensive cemetery tour in the future, but for now, let's get started. Just over here is a man that most of you probably know. This is George Jones. He was a legendary singer in the world of country music, nicknamed the Possum. Says he stopped loving her today. This is a pretty impressive memorial. Now, he was also married to Tammy Wynette for about 6 years, and she's also laid to rest here. I'll put in a picture of her grave because she's buried in a mausoleum on the other side of the cemetery, and the mausoleum is closed today, so we're not able to get in to see her, but I will come back and we'll visit her very soon. But Nancy Ann Jones and George Glenn Jones. Nancy, I believe, was his fourth wife, married in 1983. For a little more information on George Jones, he was born in 1931 in Texas, and some of his earliest musical influences were Roy Acuff and Bill Monroe, and Hank Williams and Lefty Freyzel. They kind of helped him find his voice in the world of music. He served in the U.S. Marine Corps until 1953, and then in 1959 he got his break and he recorded White Lightning that was written by the Big Bopper, and that launched his career as a singer. But he was one of the absolute greats. Over his career, he had 14 number one hits, 143 top 40 hits, won 5 Grammys, but his life wasn't without controversy. He did struggle with alcoholism, and he got the nickname No-Show Jones for missing a lot of performances. But he passed away in 2013 at 81 years old. Just over here, not too far from George Jones, is Eddy Arnold. He was born in 1918, and he was a very popular country music artist, and he was a kind of a sound innovator of the late 1950s. He had 147 songs on the Billboard country music charts, second only to George Jones. He sold more than 85 million records. He was a member of the Grand Ole Opry beginning in 1943. Inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and he ranked 22nd on Country Music Television's 2003 list of the top 40 greatest men in country music. By the 1980s, he considered himself semi-retired, and he passed away from natural causes on May 8th of 2008 in a care facility here in Nashville at the age of 89. It's really a pretty simple grave marker for one of the all-time greats. Just over here we have another musical icon. This is Porter Wagoner. He was a singer known as Mr. Grand Ole Opry, and he had a pretty big hand in developing the career of Dolly Parton. He introduced her in 1967 on his show, The Porter Wagoner Show, and the two of them became a vocal duo from the late 60s to the early 70s. Now, Porter Wagoner charted 81 singles from 1954 to 1983, and he was elected to the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2002. He was well known for his flashy style on stage, often wearing nudie suits, he was a very famous and influential designer at the time. He designed suits for all the stars back in the day, like Elvis Presley, and the list goes on. But Porter Wagoner, what a legend in the country music field. He passed away here in Nashville on October 28, 2007 from lung cancer, and his funeral was held at the Grand Ole Opry. Over here is the final resting place of Dobie Gray. Dobie Gray was a singer and songwriter. He was in multiple genres. He did soul, country, pop, musical theater. But his hit songs were The In Crowd in 1965, and then Drift Away, which was one of the biggest hits of 1973. And just that sold over 1 million copies and remains on radio airplay to this day. A lot of people have covered that song. It was his greatest hit. As you can see, it is on his grave marker. His first success came in 1962 when his seventh single, Look at Me, reached number 91 on the Billboard Hot 100. He passed away on December 6, 2011 from complications from cancer surgery here in Nashville at the age of 71. Now, it is interesting to note that upon his passing, he bequeathed 100% of his musical royalties in a trust to benefit St. Jude's. That concludes part 1 of the Woodlawn Memorial Park Cemetery tour. I will come back and shoot a part 2 when the mausoleum is open and we can find some of the others. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Lee McCormick, Latasha Frazier, Tracy Sewell for being my new Patreon members, and Dana Knowlton and Paula Tenney for being the newest channel members. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.